All right, welcome back. Oh my gosh, it is the last day of the chakra sequence. So we've worked our way up to the crown chakra, and I hope that you've learned some interesting things about the body, but not just about the subtle body, but also about how you can apply these ideas to your physical practice. And so that's an important part as Hatha yogis. How can we apply this, and what does this do? Okay, so on the Sahastrara Chakra, easier, try to say that 3 times fast, the crown chakra, the color associated is violet or white light, and this chakra, this is past like intellectual thinking, and when we're connected and activated in this chakra, we're connected to the unity of all beings, to seeing past division. And one great pose that we can use to activate this chakra, which we haven't done yet, is Shirshasana, where we actually place the crown of the head onto the floor. So we're going to use that pose today to help to activate that chakra. And I want you to pay close attention to the feeling when you come out of this pose, because you kind of get that sense of like, all is one, I'm just past the thinking, and so it's a really nice pose for meditation to help bring you into the crown chakra. So we'll use that. And one other thing that I should mention is that commonly it's thought that there's 7 chakras, but there's actually much more than 7 chakras. There's chakras below and even above, and we have chakras in the hands and in the feet. So when we're practicing, we can focus on opening up through the spine, but to also connect to even lower chakras by how we stretch, activate the legs, what we do with the arms and even the hands, how we open the hands in the poses, versus if the hands are dull and lazy, we're not going to be opening up those chakras, but even the spinal chakras in association with the limbs too. Like for example, my neck chakra won't be as open as if my arms are like this versus if my arms are in external rotation, what have you. So just things to consider before we finish. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so let's begin today's practice standing. Stand up at the top of your mat. Stand with your feet close together or all the way together, and bring your palms together. With your thumbs resting against the sternum, let the bottom of the sternum tip down towards your feet, and let the collarbone start to open. Allow for some swaying as you find balance across the feet. Empty the tension in the jaw and in the tongue. Let the forehead soften. And let the crown of the head open. As if not only are we connected as we go through this practice, just from being able to watch us on the screen, but actually like we could connect through our crown chakras energetically. Then open your eyes and drop your arms down at your side. Sun salutation A, modified for the first one. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen out through your spine. Step back one leg at a time into plank pose. Lower slowly onto your belly. Inhale into low cobra. And as you hold here, we'll do the one-legged. So raise the right leg up an inch and turn the inner thigh up to the ceiling so that the center of your knee points straight down. Change legs, raise the left leg up an inch. Spin the inner thigh towards the ceiling. Lift both sides of the skin below the navel up to the heart. Press that foot down, and then roll the shoulder heads into position and slowly start to roll up into up dog. Glide back to down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, hands to your heart, Sahastrara. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Then shift into plank pose. Bring your right knee up to your chest and start to round your back out. Push the floor down with your hands as you pull up. Inhale, slowly lower your knee towards the floor and reach your chest forward. Make a flat back. Exhale, pull back up again and round out. Inhale, slowly lower your knee. Exhale, pull it back up. And step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Lower your back knee down. Low lunge. Inhale, raise your arms up. Downward facing dog. Bring your hands down and stretch back. Shift into plank. Bring your left knee up by your chest. Inhale, lower slowly. Exhale, pull your knee back up. Inhale, lower the knee slow. Exhale, pull back up. One more time. Inhale, lower slow. Exhale, pull back up. And step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Then lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Bring your hands back down to the mat and step back to down dog. Look between your hands, step, walk, or hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees, sit your hips back, arms up. Press up to stand, Sahastrara. Inhale, chair pose, bend knees and sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Warrior one, step your right foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One more time, bend your knees and look forward. Step or float up. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Samastiti. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Then step your right foot for warrior two. Inhale, come up. Extended side angle. Place your hand down onto the outside of your foot on the floor or on the block. Or go forearm to thigh and reach your left arm over your ear. Turn your right thigh all the way out so that your knee starts to go up against your right arm. And then lengthen through all four sides of your waist as you stretch down through your back heel. Inhale, come back up into warrior two. Then straighten your right leg and reach out for triangle pose. Then bend your right knee, left hand onto your hip. Slide your right hand a foot in front of your pinky toe and step up to balance, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Find the length through the four sides of your waist again and keep reaching through the back heel. Now turn your chest and take your arm up. Complete the pose. And then as smooth as you can, bend your right knee and slide back into triangle. Press through your feet. Inhale, come back up to stand. Bend your right knee and circle your hands to the mat. Vinyasa, or you could just step right back to down dog, your call. Step your left foot, warrior two. Inhale, come on up. Extended side angle, reach and put your hand down onto the outside of your foot. Take your right arm all the way over your ear. So as you turn your left thigh out so the knee travels back up against the left arm, lift through the four sides of your waist and then stretch through your back heel. Feel the spine get long to the line of your back ankle. Then lift from your belly, come back up into warrior two, straighten your left leg and reach out for triangle pose. So as your pelvic floor opens towards your back ankle, open the crown of the head towards the wall ahead of you. So we can help to orient ourselves from the crown of the head in these external standing poses. Now bring your right hand onto your hip, bend the left knee, and slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe. Step up. Engage the left outer hip so that it's balanced over your left ankle. And then as you lengthen through the four sides of your waist, raise your back heel up. And then instead of letting your spine hang over, open the crown of the head towards the wall in front of you, like we're doing headstand on that wall. Nice. Then turn your chest, complete the pose, take your right arm up. Then as smooth as you can, bend your left knee and slide back, triangle pose. So this is just a functional way we can incorporate the understanding of the crown chakra in the anatomy of the postures. Reach through your feet and inhale, come up. Bend your left knee, hands to the mat, step back to down dog or take a vinyasa. Then step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, come up. Bring your hands onto your hips and straighten your right leg. Step your back foot a little bit closer. Roll your shoulder heads back, inhale. Exhale, start to tip from your pelvis and fold forward halfway. Good, now hold there, stretch your arms straight back behind you. Open the pelvic floor towards the wall behind you and open the crown of the head towards the wall in front of you. Feel your length. Then step right up to balance, warrior three. Good, then bend your right knee and step back, crescent. Inhale your arms up. Bring your hands to prayer, lean your chest out over your knee, and twist, take your left elbow to your knee. Now once you get the elbow hooked, same thing, open the crown of the head forward, and as you start to turn the chest, don't let your head round and sink onto your chest. Keep feeling the length from the chakra from your left arch, up through the pelvic floor, root chakra, up through the crown of the head. So that's how we can incorporate those other chakras. Now with the hands, make sure that it feels like the palm of the hand is opening and spreading. As the collarbones open, there's your throat chakra. Breathe into the ribs more evenly instead of just pushing the front ribs forward as you're holding. Then bring your hands back down to the mat and step back to down dog or out of vinyasa, your call. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Then bring your hands onto your hips, straighten your left leg and step your back foot a little bit closer. Roll the shoulders back, chest open. And then start to tip from your pelvis and fold forward, maybe halfway, as long as your back doesn't round to do it. Pause there, feel the feet even on the floor. Then stretch your arms straight back behind you, like jet airplane wings. Then keeping your heart open, step into warrior three. Nice, now feel your hips level to the floor. And just notice if the head is hanging in a different line than the back arch, pelvic floor, spine. Reintegrate the head with the rest of the body and breathe. Good, now bend your knee and as smooth as you can, step back into crescent, arms up. Then bring hands to prayer. Lean your chest out over your knee and twist. Take your right elbow to your knee. Once you get the elbow hooked, notice where you round it over. So from your back arch of your foot, connect through the pelvic floor, through the crown of the head, like a channel of energy. Then bring your hands back down onto the mat. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa. Inhale into plank pose. Come into plank on your forearms, set one elbow down and then the other. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. Take your right arm up. Vashisthasana on your left forearm, side plank. Change sides, right elbow down, left arm up. Good, then left elbow down. Come up into plank on your hands. Stretch back to down dog. Then look in between your hands and hop to seated. Sit with your legs stretched straight out in front of you and sit up tall. Now lean your torso back about almost halfway, like 30 degrees. Balance in between your sit bones and your tailbone, then grip your low abs and bring one leg up into tabletop from the grip of the abs. And then bring the other leg up into tabletop as well. Good, so hold here. Modified Navasana. Now without sinking back, see if you can lift one ankle straight up and then the other. Good, then bend your knees. Lower your lower back down onto the floor. Good, grip your abs in again and stretch your left leg forward. Then stretch your right leg out to meet it. Hold there, abs in strong. Come back up into boat pose. Good, reverse plank. Put your hands a foot behind you. Turn your shoulder heads back first. Chest open, and then start to lift your hips up without the shoulders sinking onto the chest. Reach down through the inner feet and lift the tailbone up as you open through the front of the hips. Keep rolling the chest open. Then lower your hips down and come back into boat pose. One more round, same sequence. Knees up, arms forward, legs straight if possible. Lower slowly into low boat pose, Ardha. Come back up into boat pose. Reverse plank, hands go a foot behind you. Turn the shoulders back, chest open, and lift your hips up. Then lower your hips back down, cross your legs in front of you, and pick up and jump back to chaturanga, or just step back to down dog. Balasana, set the knees down, knees together, point your big toes back and sit back onto your heels. Rest your head down onto the floor. All right, then let's practice finding the crown of the head so that you make sure that you know where you're pointing the crown of your head earlier. It's good to know where the crown of the head is. Maybe we should have worked on that first. But let's find the crown of the head now for Shirshasana. So take your 2 index fingers and slide them flush up against your ears. Okay, then slide them up, and right where they touch, that's the crown of your head. So your margin of error is about the size of a quarter, which you're going to be balancing on, and you want to make contact with that exact spot and the mat when you set up for this next pose. So next we're going to learn Shirshasana preparation. Now this is not appropriate if you have a history of cervical compression, neck issues, but if the neck is relatively healthy and you want to build strength, health in the neck, this next pose is great for it, as long as you're thinking about reaching your shoulder blades out of your ears and keeping your collarbones broad, what we learned for Throat Chakra Day. Okay, now join your palms together and press the palms together without closing your chest. That's about as much pressure as we want the head to have on the floor, not much more than that. Okay, so now set your elbows down onto the floor and interlock your hands. Align the center elbow with the center of the humeral head, and then bring the crown of the head onto the floor. Rest the back of the skull against your thumbs. Okay, now just feel the power of resting the crown of the head on the floor for a moment before you do anything else. Just to have the head in this position, you might feel a connection to the earth's energy if you're sensitive to it. If you're not, you're just like, what happens next? Let's get this over with. But if you can tune in and be more sensitive and open up to that, you could feel that it's actually almost like you're tapping into the earth's energy here. I kind of like it. Now, keeping the spread for your shoulder blades and your collarbones, curl your toes under, lift your knees and your hips. Feel the crown of the head open up into the earth's energy again. And then draw that energy up through your hips. And as your toes root down, draw energy from the earth up through the legs, up into the hips. Like you're getting the hips higher, higher, and higher. And you start to become so light that you feel like you can maybe bring one knee up into your chest. Still keeping the hips high, collarbones, shoulder blades out of the neck, and then change legs, still keep the hips up high, go higher, higher, breathe. And then set that foot down and rest in child's pose. So this is the way that I like to teach people to build strength to eventually be able to pull both knees into your chest and balance. Would you like to show that, Stacy? Can you do that one? Okay. So you can try this at the wall for support. I'm going to spot Stacy just in case. She's done a lot of yoga today. I don't want her to fall over. Okay. So to get into the both knees into the chest position, your hips have to come in past your shoulders, like Stacy's showing. And then once you have that, you can just bring your knees up and then feet all the way up. To come back down in reverse, bring the heels towards the buttock, then the knees towards the chest, keeping the head pressure light with the crown, and then back into child's. So you can practice learning that at the wall. Remember, you want to keep the neck space. Work your way up to holding to like a minute or something, or 10 breaths. But as soon as you feel yourself start to crush into the crown on the floor and feel the neck shrink, that's your sign that you come down. Over time, you'll build more strength and be able to hold for longer. Take downward facing dog now. Then hop to a seated position and lie down onto your back. Bring your heels close to your buttock, feet hip distance apart. We're just going to do 3 bridge lifts. If you want to throw in a wheel, an Urdhva Dhanurasana, that's fine. Otherwise, just lift up in the bridge pose for 5 breaths. And as you press the arm bones down, let the chest open. Lower yourself back down, take a breath. Then go back up, bridge or Urdhva. Lower yourself back down. Last one, bridge or Urdhva, go up for 5 breaths. All right, then lower yourself back down, Supta Gomukhasana. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Bring the knees towards you and grab a hold of the tops of your feet. Let your sacrum drop back down onto the floor and feel more space from the back of the skull to the sacrum. Let the crown of the head open, the third eye open. And change the cross. Then uncross your legs and stretch out for corpse pose, Shavasana. So as some of the other chakras had elements, like earth was the element to connect us to the root chakra. The crown chakra is past element, no thought. And the symbol associated with the crown chakra is the 1,000-petaled lotus. Through our efforts and practice, eventually our Kundalini will rise up through the spine, through the chakras, open up through the crown chakra, and liberate the spirit to open and connect us to the divine, the universal source. But through all of our efforts and practice at the same time will allow us to stay rooted and grounded. As the crown opens, now visualize white light traveling in through the crown to charge and energize the body. Visualize this light as healing and helping us to connect to spirit or to the divine. And to help to connect to the divine within us. Then gently bend your knees and set your feet on the floor. Roll over to your side and press yourself up to seated. Sit up tall and bring your palms together. Namaste. All right. So one of the attitudes that we can practice along with activating the crown chakra is having a sense that our experience is something that we can learn from as opposed to something that we have to struggle through. So through this attitude, just a shift in attitude is helping to better align us with the divine. Instead of like resisting, we practice acceptance. And I mentioned earlier on in one of the past videos that this is a great way that we can help to heal trauma through some of the lower chakras, is to practice acceptance and forgiveness. But this isn't cultivating an attitude where we allow ourselves to be walked over or something like that. Acceptance, but then learning from our experiences and how to conduct ourselves differently. So that's an important part. You don't want to be a doormat. Okay, so that's not the yogic path. So I thank you so much for taking this 7-day journey with Stacy and I. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time on the next journey. Have a great rest of your day and be well.